We're going to finish chapter 36 of A Little History of the World by E.H. Gombrich. We've been hearing about Karl Marx and his ideas for the people, the proletariat as he called them, and we continue. However, when Marx published his great appeal to the workers, the Communist Manifesto as he called it, in 1848, the situation was very different from what he had expected, and things have gone on being different right up until today. In those days, few factory owners had any real power. Most of it was still in the hands of those much-decorated noblemen whose authority Metternich had helped to restore, and it was these noblemen who were the real adversaries of rich citizens and factory owners. They wanted a secure, orderly, and regulated state in which each had his appointed place, as people had always had in the past. This meant that, in Austria, for example, peasants were still tied to inherited estates, and were hardly less bound to the landowners than the serfs of the Middle Ages. Artisans were still governed by many strict and ancient regulations dating back to the time of the guilds, as, to some extent, were the new factories. However, citizens who had become wealthy as a result of the new machines and factories were no longer willing to take orders, either from the nobility or from the state. They wanted to act as they saw fit, and were convinced that this would be best for everyone. All that was needed was for able people to be given a free rein, unimpeded by conventions, rules, or regulations. And in time, the whole world would be a better place. The world looks after itself as long as it isn't interfered with, or so they thought. Accordingly, in 1830, the citizens of France rose up and threw out Louis XVIII's successors, and in 1848 there was a new revolution in Paris, which spread to many other countries, in which citizens tried to obtain all the power of the state so that nobody could any longer tell them what they might or might not do with their factories and their machines. In Vienna, Metternich found himself dismissed, and the Emperor Ferdinand was forced to abdicate. The old regime was definitely over. Men wore black trousers like drain pipes that were almost as ugly as the ones we wear today, and stiff white collars with complicated neckties. Factories were allowed to spring up everywhere, and railways transported goods in ever-increasing quantities from one country to another. And that's the end of chapter 36. Please check out this video in the playlist that I have made, and several of the other books I have read are now in playlists form as well. See you next time.